Hi. I'm a little sick right now, but I wanted to film something, so my voice is kind of weird and my nose is kind of stuffed up, but it's okay. So I don't know whether it's one of our survival instincts or not, but you know, we seek for pleasure and avoid we seek for pleasure, avoid pain, right? But when I thought about it, I was like, but there's too much pleasure in this modern society, and it's so hard to it's almost like it's so hard to avoid pleasure and seek for pain, the opposite of do the opposite of our instinct. But it's kind of, that is something we need to do to, like evolve or level up or, expand or, getting successful, but successful by that, I mean, it's not like getting millionaire or a billionaire, or getting wealthy, getting rich, if that's what you want to become and that's what you define as successful, then it's okay, but it's just not necessarily, it doesn't have to be that. I just wanted to make it clear, so yeah. And I actually took a memo, so I will just read it out loud, but it's, as usual, write it down right away, but when I write memos, sometimes it doesn't make any sense, but don't mind it, please. So our survival instinct is seek for pleasure and avoid pain. But in this modern society, there's too much pleasure, which is destroying us silently but surely. So don't get consumed by excessive pleasure. So it's kind of hard to seek for pain and avoid pleasure. But that's what we need to do to keep on evolving and growing and get successful. Yeah, it's kind of like I said, I just said, too much pleasure in this world. I mean, I don't want to say all the pleasures pleasure. Social media is also one of the pleasure that gives me a lot of pleasure. Does that make sense? So kind of like dopamine hit. Pleasure is kind of associated with dopamine. I don't know, I am not expert, so, but that's what I know about it. So yeah, and pleasure. YouTube is also, watching videos on YouTube is also pleasure, and watching movies or what else? I don't know, I don't know, but we never get tired of getting pleasure, and there's countless things that gives us pleasure, and how can I word this? Maybe what I'm thinking about is kind of pleasure from social media, especially social media. Yesterday I was talking about that. So social media, I am not saying it's all bad, but it's just, I think it's too much, excessive pleasure, and it's just kind of killing us inside. Does that make sense? But we don't even realize that we are destroyed, or our brain or our mental health is compromised because of social media, because it gives a lot of dopamine hit we're addicted to. But in, how can I say, but that it's too much dopamine. It's spike up dopamine, and it's dangerous because it's kind of it's not natural. We can't get that much dopamine hit instantly in nature. It's not natural. Does that make sense? It's kind of it's artificial thing, but that's the reason why people are getting addicted to, or that's what the designer or the developer of these apps want. Keep people on the app as long as they can. So yeah, but it's also, that's why it designed to give you a lot of like excessive, too much amount of dopamine hit, but in reality it's actually bad for you, both for your brain, for your body, or and for your mental health, right? So that's why I was kind of thinking about this, because you know, we seek for pleasure and avoid pain, but like I said, if you want to evolve or grow up, or level up, expand, then, or getting success, if you want to get successful, then we have to do the opposite of it, right? Like seek for pain and avoid pleasure. But that's kind of really too difficult to do it, especially in this modern society, right? I actually deleted my Instagram account, my private Instagram account, because I've always wanted to do it, and I hate social media, but I was chatting my several friends on Instagram, so I didn't want to delete it, but it's kind of like I realized that it's just excuse that I don't want to lose that dopamine hit, because if I delete it, that means I cannot get the dopamine hit. I always end up like, I am trying not to open like reels, the most dangerous kind of platform or form of short videos. I don't know what I'm saying, but it makes you brain dead and keep on scrolling, and I always try to avoid it, but I always end up like, I don't know why I am trying to avoid it, but every time I open Instagram, maybe my willpower is too weak, but I don't know why, but I just end up like scrolling on Instagram Reels. So, and I feel miserable, and I feel bad, and I feel negative. It's not gonna make me feel better, so, and it does actually the opposite. So, that cycle, and I've always wanted to end this cycle, and especially right now, I am kind of like letting go of the things I don't resonate with anymore or align with anymore. Like, does that make sense? So it's kind of like, I thought social media, really, like deleting social media is, I've always wanted to do it, and I know it will make my life better, so much better, but I just, I was scared, or I was coming up so many excuses not to delete social media, but I actually did it. And but now, first couple of days or week is kind of like the hardest part, because you're still addicted to that dopamine hit you've been addicted to, and you want it so bad. So I am kind of having hard time. I had a hard time dealing with that symptom, I would say. So, but now, like 1 week passed, and then now I'm feeling better. It's that natural, it's not natural, but it's kind of like getting closer to a healthy lifestyle, because I know now I'm in the like sacred pause in my life. But I think wow, I look sick. My eye is not, but whatever. What was I even talking about? Yeah, so once this sacred pause in my life passes, and maybe I think I'm gonna, so many like huge things gonna come. I feel huge things about to come into my life, so I think I'm gonna need to work hard, or maybe work hard is the best way to describe, but yeah, work hard. So I'm gonna need more time to spend time on that. So I just wanted to, and it's kind of like social media always draining my energy. I don't know why, but I've been talking about this in few videos, so I don't want to go deep down into the topic, but you know, every time I open social media, I feel so exhausted after scrolling. I don't know why, but it's just it automatically like compares myself to others when I'm scrolling. So I don't know why exactly, but I think, yeah, it's always draining. It's so tiring all the time. So I've always wanted to quit, but I couldn't, but I finally did it. And first phase was kind of like hard because, you know, addiction symptom, I don't know. You know, I needed it so bad, but now, not anymore. And I feel so refreshed, and I'm so refreshed. I feel fresh. I don't know. Yeah, but you know, like I said in the memo, so when we want to evolve, when we want to grow up, you know, when we want to like level up our lives, we need to do the opposite of seek for pleasure, avoid the pain. So the opposite will be seek for pain and avoid the pleasure, right? But like I said, in this society, it's so like pleasure is like excessive, like full of pleasure. So we can get pleasure anytime we want, like but it's kind of like fake pleasure. So, you know, but I am talking about this, but I am not like looking down on, or how can I say it? It's not like this is what I think. So yeah, I just wanted to say that. But you know, seek for pain, avoid pleasure. That's what we need to do when you want to move forward, keep growing, keep evolving, right? But it's kind of like, yeah, like I said, it's so hard since pleasure is all over the place, and it's so easy for us to, you know, get pleasure. But that leaves us not being able to tackle the pain, seek for pain, right? Because it's pleasure. It's so, you know, not positive, but it feels good. I thought it's really hard, but I hate to be like, I don't know. This is, I don't know, but I feel like this is what I think, so don't judge me or anything, but I feel like when I'm scrolling on social media, it's kind of like it's distracting us. It's kind of like distracting us from what is really truly important in our lives. You know, it's kind of like trying not to stay, like keep us busy on the app so that they don't focus on what is truly important in our lives, in your life, right? So I feel like it's kind of like controlling in a way. I don't know why though, but I feel like it. So and I think it's kind of true. So I don't want to be controlled by someone, or you know, I want to keep evolving, I want to keep growing, and so that I can help as many people as possible throughout my life, like in my life. So, you know, lifestyle or goals or dreams in your life, it differs. It's totally different for each people. So, but for me personally, I think I want to keep evolving. I want to keep getting better. I want to, you know, expanding. So that's why I deleted social media, my Instagram and Twitter, X, or what else? but I'm in the process of trying stay away from YouTube because it's when I'm bored, I automatically open YouTube, but it's also kind of like I am addicted to that, so I am kind of working on it right now. But I sometimes think like, you know, like, I don't know, 20 years ago or 30 years ago, I don't know, without social media, without like these, what it, this is called like smartphone, like iPhone, or you know, these kind of like small tablets. Without these, you know, when the phone used to be like small screen with small like keyboards, you know, and just for emailing and just calling, and that's it. No internet, no social media, and you know, I kind of miss. I didn't really live in that era, you know, so I don't really know how exactly it feels to live in the society, but I'm pretty sure it's way better than right now. It's not like I'm saying completely social media is completely bad, because you know, when you can use it in right way, then you can get to connect with like right people, or you know, like you get to interact with like something. That was really vague, but you know, it's not all bad, but it's kind of like social media has such a huge impact and such a huge power, so it's almost kind of like out of our control. So that's why so many side effects are happening, and it's so negative, and it's so sad. But I don't know what to do. I don't think I can do anything about it alone. Yeah, that's what I thought. But I can just remind you that what's really important for you, what's really matters in your life, like values in your life, lies within you, not on social media. Not social media. So what's really important, you know, your values, or you know, all other things that really matters in your life, it lies in you, it lies within you. Does that make sense? Not on social media, like I said. So you know, but use your discernment here, but you know, seek for pain and avoid pleasure. That's what I'm doing right now. That's what I'm trying to do, you know? So yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about. That's pretty much it. You know, pain is scary, and we want to avoid it on DNA level. I talked about this in previous video, but you know, pain in this modern society is not life-threatening situation, like live or death situation. Live or death situation. I don't know what that's the saying, but it's kind of like that. So it's not like that. I don't know, as much as I know, like pain is designed to kind of like protect ourselves from, like I said, life-threatening situations in when we were in wildlife, because you know, it's only been like, I don't know, 100, 200, 300, I don't know, years since the civilization developed drastically. But when we used to live in the wildlife, like as Homo sapiens in like jungle or savanna, seek for pleasure, avoid pain. Pain was kind of like life or death situation kind of thing. So pain was kind of like associated or connected to death. I don't know, don't quote me on that, but I think so. But in this modern society, even we seek for pain, even we get pain, you know, it's painful, and it's, you know, it's hard and dark and all that, and heavy and all that, but we're not gonna die out of doing it, getting pain. So that's also what I said in previous video, but it's kind of like the privilege of being human, because even though we get pain, but we are not gonna die. I don't know if that made sense. I don't know what I'm talking about right now. My brain is not working probably. So yeah, so that's why even when we make mistakes, or even if we get pain, but we're not gonna die, and we get to learn from it, we get to have some sort of realization, or we get to have some sort of clarity out of pain, out of it. So like humans' ultimate goal is for me personally, I think for now, I think humans' ultimate goal is to be the best version of yourself you can be in your entire life, in your lifetime. Does that make sense? Like always try to be the best version of yourself. That's, I think, the ultimate like human's goal. I don't know. I'm not a monk. I am not God, so I don't really know. But for me personally, for now, I think so. To do that, we need to seek for pain, avoid pleasure. Not zero, but excessive pleasure destroying us, especially in this modern society, in this nowadays. So that's what I wanted to talk about. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching today's video. And in my timer it says it's already been 30 minutes, so it's been too long. So I'll finish up this video, but if you are still watching till at this moment right now, you are so awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And yeah, so too much excessive pleasure is kind of like destroying us. And what's really matters, what's really important, your values, your in your life lies within you, not on social media. So stop, if you can, like spend less time on social media and embrace yourself. Enjoy the nature, enjoy the miraculous moments you have right now, the present moment. That's why it is called present. I don't know, but I think it's beautiful. So yeah, so thank you so much for watching, and I genuinely you have wonderful day, wonderful weekends, wonderful morning, wonderful lunchtime, wonderful nighttime. I don't know, whenever you're watching this video, and I will see you in the next one.